Hey, it's Thursday, and you know what that means. It's time to prime those mazer cannons, fill up the Moonlight SY-III, and take a big old swig of Soma Berry juice, because we're about to hop on over to that home away from home for all you devoted disciples of Daikaiju. Yes, YHS on Monster Island with Jacob and Jay is about to be underway.
You have your fear, which might become reality. And you have Godzilla, which is reality.
I'm sick of Godzilla.
Wake up, everyone!
There are two things you don't know about the Earth. One is me, and the other is Godzilla.
We're safe now. No human being can understand that. The monsters on Monster Island can understand it.
Whether he returns or not, or is never again seen by human eyes, the things he has taught us remain.
Hey everybody, welcome to YHS on Monster Island. Yes, it's just me. It is a solo episode. And I just want to warn you, everybody that is watching on YouTube, apologies in advance. I have moved my camera around. So if I'm looking, it looks like I'm looking down or up or not knowing where I'm looking at. I got to get used to it. So apologies. I promise. I'm not reading off any scripts. And believe me, I'm doing the best that I can. But I hope everybody's doing well. Whoa! What a crazy couple of weeks. We had Wonderfest and the mad scramble to get all the goodies from that festival, paying huge prices for them, but who cares because they're so awesome. We had the Geoffreys. I'm going to talk about the Geoffreys in a bit. My favorite thing to be part of in this kind of the YHS verse, if you will. It's so fun. And the amount of work that the core YHS team does, the main team, the varsity, if you will, Craig and Abby, and of course the tattooed titan of Tokusatsu, Mr. Jacob Walsh, and Ryan Dole. It is nuts. And it is just fun to be a small role in that big presentation. And for those of you that are Kaiju first, right? Maybe you came through to learn about YHS through Monster Island, and you don't partake maybe in the typical toy collecting that really populates that channel. You know, the Hasbros and Mattels and NECAs and Mondos of the world. Well, I guess Mondos in our world too, but you know what I mean. The Star Wars and Ninja Turtles and Marvel Legends and all that good stuff. And I just want to say, like, the Geoffreys are cool because it's very on brand for YHS. It's funny, it's tongue in cheek, it's satirical, it's hilarious. You know, they can show off all their talent. But the funny thing is it's embraced by these major brands. Like, you'll see, I know the Mondo team was watching it, and people from all these major companies. And I mean, if you watch the pre-show on Geek Dad Live, it was crazy. It was just rapid fire. It was either a really popular toy tuber, or it was somebody associated with, you know, a NECA or, you know, one of these other brands. So crazy. So amazing stuff from the team, and the Geoffreys were phenomenal. If you haven't had a chance, go watch it. We have a small segment that we did about some Kaiju Toy Awards, but for the most part, it doesn't matter if you collect the stuff. You know, I don't actively collect most of the stuff that they talk about. But I'm so enthralled as a fan, and I love watching it, and they do such a great job, and it's just wonderful. So go ahead and check that out if you can. If not, that's okay. We'll still let you hang out here on the island for a bit, but you're on thin ice. So, you know, it was crazy. That Wonderfest was nuts. I don't know if the last few Wonderfests have been a little bit of a notch down, that this 2025 winter one just kind of blew everybody away. Max Toy Japan and Frog Tree, Amakuma, everybody was just like coming in hot, and it was crazy, and people were scrambling to get the toys, and I was one of them, was able to pick up a few. I'll show off actually a couple today, but it was nuts. But before we move on, I do want to say good luck to Jacob. The tattooed titan of Tokusatsu is en route to New York to Toy Fair, has duties on the Toy Anxiety YHS brand to go to the huge undertaking that is Toy Fair. Hopefully shake some hands, kiss some babies, rub some elbows with some really important toy people, and really make that trip worthwhile for them. I know he's having a great time, and a happy belated birthday, because since the last time we recorded, it was Jake's birthday. And if you caught Toy Anxiety, he had some awesome pickups, by the way. So really, really cool stuff. But I did want to come on, and I did want to talk a little bit today, because we had so much toy news, so many toy drops that came through over the last 2 weeks. And also, selfishly, I had some really good pickups. Real good. So I wanted to share those because I think there's some really cool stuff. Maybe it'll help elevate my the opinion of me to all of you viewers. But like, hey, this guy's not just buying stupid Spectre Man stuff. He actually has some cool stuff now. But I was able to pick up some really cool stuff, and I'm excited to show that off. No main topic. We Jake and I are going to finish the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy in the next time we record, hopefully either next week or in 2 weeks or whenever that might be. So we are going to finish that. It just kind of, we lost track. You know, Jake's a busy dude. He has lots of engagements and trips planned. And so this one kind of like, we forgot that this was the day that he was leaving to go out to Toy Fair. And it's nuts because when we meet again, we might have one more show after that before we're in Japan, which is nuts. And planning's been going great. I honestly, like, we should have done a whole episode on just kind of planning what our itinerary is, but that's super fun. But I'm excited to finally get over there and record some content, buy some toys, hang out, see some really cool stuff in Tokyo and Osaka and Awaji Island and all that good stuff. So very, very, very fun times. But hey, you know what? I haven't watched a lot. I have been really slacking on my Ultraman Ace. I was like cruising through that whole series, and I just took a big pause. You know what? I totally blame Rebirth of Mothra. I totally blame it because it kind of got me sidetracked, and I don't know. For some reason, I've just like taken my eye off the ball here when it comes to Ultraman Ace. I only have like 10 episodes to be done with like the full rewatch again. And I do think we should talk about some Ultraman. I mean, like the bedwetting episode, the Santa Claus episode with Father of Ultra, all that stuff. There's so many wacky episodes and some really good ones too. So I think we should do that. But I haven't watched much. There's like my list. I pre-ordered Hoshi 35 from SRS, and there's a couple other things that I've been wanting to watch on the list that are more on the indie realm, nothing like a big rewatch, things I haven't seen before. And I do want to chat through those. But you know, it's hard. It's hard to find time to watch and also like get on here and talk about it. And most of the time it's just me by myself. Cause getting a movie into Jake's busy calendar is tough, man. He's so busy, but I do have a lot of news. There's a lot of crazy toy stuff. You think after Wonderfest, it would be like, okay, there's going to be a lull, right? It's kind of that post San Diego Comic-Con lull. We don't get it after Wonderfest. In fact, this might even be one of the heavier weeks, or I guess 2 week period, the heavier fortnights, if you will, of toys. So let's, not waste any more time. Let's get into some toy news and just some general kaiju news.
It's the Monster Island news for you. It's everything about kaiju. From that Monster Island crew, there are others that do it and they're okay to choose. But there's only one super trusted, amazingly handsome Monster Island crew. Can you believe they're doing that to the Monsterverse? You missed another on Raku lottery, that's the worst. You didn't hear about all those exclusives, no, you're not cursed. You just need another source for news and you'll find out first. Oh yeah, the Monster Island moves for you. It's everything about kaiju from that Monster Island crew.
Okay, everybody. So some YHS Monster Island news for you. Okay, well, first off, we talked about this. We talked about the Geoffreys, but I do want to give a big congrats to our winners from the Geoffreys, specifically for the Kaiju Toy Awards. The Kaiju Toy Collectible of the Year. This one was super, super hard to predict. I absolutely love this figure. It was the Mondo Attack Peter Mecha Godzilla, the silver variant. I think it's one of the coolest toys there is. I mentioned it on the show. A American soft vinyl of a recognizable character, but done in the way that is true to the character, captures the whimsy of soft vinyl, and also this is the big one. Attack Peter has such a unique style, and that block print came through, but it was a step up, I think, personal opinion, from just the black and white by adding the color to it, adding the pops with the eyes and some of the bolts and the MGs on the side. Holy cow. Yes, loved it. I think the Octil UFO could have won. I think the Amakuma Godzilla 73 could have won. I think any of the 8 could have been the winners. Those were probably the 3 that I was like circling around saying, okay, these are probably it. And then the Unrakus are right there behind it. And that dovetails nicely with Metacom and Unraku, the Vinyl Wars series, winning Toy Line of the Year. Second time they've done this. And I think this might have been a bigger of a gap, this is my opinion, than in the Toy of the Year. I just think there was like no waste. If you say like, what was the quote unquote worst figure they released from a Godzilla standpoint? What? The puppet with the tower, which is awesome. I mean, and if Gap and Destroy would have been released, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, maybe about the 55. I thought 55 was great. But when you add the Shin Godzilla, which was kind of the buzz, right? It got people in decon in a frenzy. So you have that, the hype factor. You have the Space Godzilla, which was, once again, like huge hype. And I think that one is just so great. I mean, ignoring Neo Player One, I don't know if there's a better Space Godzilla out there. I mean, Mondo's done wonderful stuff as well, too. But then the sneaky one for me is the Godzilla 94. To pair with your Space Godzilla. We don't talk enough about that one. It kind of snuck in there when I think kind of right before like the Dr. Yamane's with the Hill version, which also amazing piece, unique, crazy. Like that is like maybe the 4th or 5th best thing that they've released. So I just feel like on Raku, no waste, big ticket items, hype, buzz, impact, influence, all that type of stuff. I think that they were amazing. I think Mondo had a legit claim. You know, to me, I think the difference is Mondo has so many variants, which is a good thing. But I want to make sure that's understood. Period. End of sentence. It's a good thing. Ton of variants because everybody likes different stuff. But I do think there's something about the less is more when it comes to the toy line where, you know, I mean, they're going in and Raku's hitting home runs with every one of these, where maybe some of the Mondo stuff like, oh my gosh, the silver variant is a home run, grand slam, best toy of the year. But maybe the black and white one or the white and black one is okay, it's good, you know? So, and then I'm not saying that. I'm just saying when you have so many variants, you're going to have some hits and misses and some preferences and stuff. And it just almost gives you too much. But Mondo could have easily won. What they're doing as an American-based company in the world dominated by the soft vinyl heavy hitters of Marusan and Metacom and everything like that, they're not only in the conversation, but at the top bill. I mean, like kudos to Hector and Peter and that team. Like it is amazing. And the fact that they're tapping into artists like Octil and, you know, who's obviously getting now into the toy game, Kaiju Cream, obviously the launching pad and into the UFO, but then going to legends like Groman and stuff to be able to create this roster of really cool toys that are unique and different. And it's amazing. So I think they could have won. Amakuma had an absolute legitimate shot at winning this. I think this year Amakuma might be in the leader in the clubhouse as we sit here in February, almost March. Their Wonderfest was ridiculous. Now Max Toy and Frog Tree and Mondo and everything else absolutely has a chance. But Amakuma, I don't want to say they came out of nowhere, but last year they just, so good. The Godzilla, the Woo, and now we're getting, you know, the Godzilla 66 and some other stuff. It just like Really, 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 really good stuff from those guys. But I don't want to overlook some of the ones that maybe don't get a lot of buzz outside of our channel, like Yamamark, the Blopus stuff. Shame on us for not having them part of it last year. I know we didn't have the Geoffreys last year, but they weren't in our top 6. This year, I think maybe last year was even better. When I say last year, 2023 was probably even better than their 2024 year, but like it was still very, very, very good. I mean, they're one that like that they do really great stuff. There's not a bad piece in that line. Mascot is one that, we really got turned on to at Decon when we saw them in person, but what they're doing kind of more in the tokusatsu realm, they could have won. It wouldn't have shocked me at all. Marusan 350, you have quantity, you have quality. I mean, I don't think I have to explain why Marusan 350 was up in the running, but they did some really, really cool stuff. Some of their pieces based on the Kaida Nishikawa illustrations were impeccable. They were impeccable. So, even talking about folks like Shima X and Sun Guts and stuff that might have like been on the outside of that, like you could have told me that they were in the top 3 or 4 and it would have been, nobody would have batted an eye, right? It's just the hardest thing to do. The toy line is so hard. And if it's that hard, then think of, how hard it was for a Kaiju toy collectible of the year. I mean, we're going to make some people mad. And also like we focus so much on soft finals, Fubi. This is the first year we didn't have any X Plus. There wasn't kind of anything, what I would say in kind of the lower price tier, like Bandai Movie Monsters, which we've always included those. Super 7 Reaction we've had in the past. It is not what's the most expensive. It's not Neo Player One, Akuma Tenshi, and blah, blah, blah. It's not that. We have a little bit of everything, and it's really just what impacts the overall collecting community. And this year just saw vinyl dominated. X Plus didn't have a bad year. I mean, X Plus North America is getting their feet under their feet under them, hitting the ground running. All those metaphors that mean that they're hopefully in line to do some big stuff. And I mean, heck, the last time we had the Geoffreys at X Plus, the Godzilla versus Ebra won. So we're not only looking at Safubi. What I do think the one iteration that we need to make, I think, on the Geoffreys, at least for the Kaiju piece, is adding in an original. Like an original Kaiju, indie Kaiju, something that's not a licensed property. Or that's kind of Kaiju adjacent. Because like the one that was missing on the list that I just felt like it was hard because was it a Godzilla toy because it was licensed with Toho, or was it something that had to do with Godzilla but wasn't a Godzilla toy? And that was the Abominable Toys Tom Whalen Chomp. I thought both of those releases were excellent. Could have been up for any of these awards, but like it was a Chomp toy in a Godzilla costume. So it may be nuanced, but I would love to have like that so it could be in there against some of the stuff that we see from, Frank Mysterio, the K Zombie, the not Canagon. Some of the other ones like that would have been great. Would have been wonderful to have kind of a category for original soft vinyl. I mean, of course, Star Monkey Go, my boy Chaz over at Chazbro Toys would have thrown that in there as well. But I think that's the one addition. And also I'm hoping maybe that could even be a bridge from YHS on Monster Island to Toy Anxiety to some of these others, because indie toys, original soft vinyl, like I think you could layer them together, because I did feel bad because I think that the Chomp Tom Whalen toy deserved to win something. But alas, we didn't have the right category for it. So maybe next year, maybe it will be the martyr, the sacrificial lamb to get us to, get our heads out of the sand and open up a new category. So once again, kudos to the Geoffreys guys. I loved it. I'm so happy that it's back and excited for next year. And hopefully, they don't kick us out. Hopefully we weren't like we always joke, we're like the foreign film part of the Academy Awards, but for the Geoffreys. Because I get it. Like a small fraction of the viewing audience cares about this stuff, knows about it, knows who we are. I mean, they know who Jake is because he's on both shows. So I love the fact that they're giving us this platform. And I just hope that, we don't get relegated to the pre-show or like, a highlight montage of like, hey, and yesterday we had the key grip of the year and the sound editing in a black and white film from a communist country category, so like, we're hoping that that happens, but I know some people. Anyway, so moving on from that, I guess we have some movie news now. I don't want to spend a ton on this because, to be honest with you guys, I don't have a ton to add. We had some casting news on everybody's favorite MonsterVerse sequel that's coming out, Godzilla X Kong 2, the not as new Empire, the new-ish Empire. And they added, so first off, we already knew that Dan Stevens was coming back as the Trapper Beasley, or whatever his name was, and the vet, the Kaiju vet. And we talked about, Jake and I, Caitlin Dever from Dope Sick and stuff was coming on the cast and to be a prominent role. And we do know that Jack O'Connell, who I have no idea who Jack O'Connell is, so apologies in advance. He's going to be there as, we think, the brother possibly to the Caitlin Dever character. Their role in the whole thing, don't know. And then an actor I do know, Delroy Lindo, from a Spike Lee contributor frequently on Spike Lee films. Get Shorty, Harder They Fall, all this good stuff. He's going to be in it, and the rumor is that he's going to be a Monarch representative. So great actor, really cool. I could see that go. He could be good, could be bad, could be a little bit of both. I love that casting. But other than that, this doesn't mean it. This doesn't like change anything about this film or what we know or what we're thinking or whatever. If it was, if they announced that we got Daniel Day-Lewis and Kenneth Branagh and something, like maybe like, hey, what the heck's, Sam Neill, maybe it's like, hey, what the heck's going on here? But none of this stuff changes what we're expecting. But thank you to the great Kaiju United, Jacob and his team. I know they pulled this news from Hollywood Reporter and Deadbeat and all that good stuff. So thank you for kind of aggregating all that stuff. And I just pulled it from there. So go to Kaiju United. They're really good stuff. I want to make sure that I give them credit for me, kind of jacking this information. But that's really it from the movie news. Like this, the new Godzilla -1 sequel, whatever that Yamazaki project is going to end up being, that's great. We know that Monarch got greenlit for season 2. Things are moving. Now we just need Singular Point season 2. But I've unfortunately given up hope on that one. So let's talk toys. Now, oh man, like I mentioned, really good stuff coming out. And I want to start with a few releases that are from the Graveyard Gallery or the Hakuba Gallery over there in Japan. And what I like about these guys is they work with everybody, whether it's Strange Gallery, whether it's US Toys, whether it's Max Toy, Marusan, Bullmark, it doesn't matter. They're working with them and they're doing these really cool exclusives, and it's accessible for us. We can order from their site. They work with World Shopping, I believe, or World Shipping, whichever one that is, proxy service on the site. Bam, 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 done. I've ordered a few things from them. It's always great. They're, wonderful. It's not the fastest in the world for some of the pre-orders, but that's not their fault. And so I'm excited to go to the Hakuba Gallery when I'm over in Japan. It's on the itinerary. Really excited for this. But I think this was the shining star in a litany of really, really good releases that they announced over the last 2 weeks. And it says Godzilla 64, and it's from Strange Gallery. Now, I absolutely love Strange Gallery. I got the Pestar recently. It is stunning. They're this really cool size, and they're bulky, and they're really whimsical and really cool. And so I think this one looks wonderful. The Mothra comes off. I think that there'll be some really cool colorways of this one, but I love this one. It's about 6.5 inches tall, $150. The pre-order starts on March 7th, release in July. Go out there, order this. This looks wonderful, man. This is like, if it really gets released in July, already on the top 8 figure of the year out here. I haven't even seen it in person. I just feel very confident that we're going to see some Strange Gallery stuff. In fact, that Pestar would be on my short list now because it technically got released in January, even though it was announced like 6 months ago. Strange Gallery already toy line of the year because they're just kind of Strange Gallery. They don't have it's not like Toho series or Subaraya series. So can lump them all together. Really good stuff. So keep your eye out for Strange Gallery. And then, of course, thank you to Kaiju Battle. I pulled a lot of this from Kaiju Battle, some from Soviet.Tokyo. But thank you for, once again, being one of those great news aggregators with the fandom here, and the community loves what you guys do. So thank you. Makes my job easier too when I'm scouring the internet for stuff. But Strange Gallery. So US Toys, they are releasing kind of what their big four in Godzilla, the four they always release, the 54, the 62, the 64, and the 89, which, hey, if you're going to pick four, why not? And they're doing these kind of cool milky vinyl. There's a green, a red, a kind of smoky gray, and a blue, and they look wonderful. So these are up now. These are, $35 a pop. Bam. Of course, you have the shipping fees, but really cool stuff from US Toys. Always love what they do. And I like seeing them pairing and partnering up with Graveyard Gallery more than I think recently. So really good stuff. This was a really cool release. I feel Bullmark, the modern iteration of, has really been pushing a lot more product more frequently, more volume. And they're going back with these three really, really cool retro pieces. There's the giant Godzilla in that kind of classic colorway, well worn in, played in 70s giant Godzilla from Bullmark that you saw in Godzilla vs. Hedorah. Very cool stuff. This thing is up for pre-order right now on the Hakuba site. It's going to be 12 inches tall. So it's not, I think it's the same size, 11 and a half inches as the original. But to be able to get something like that for $150, yes. And then the Hedorah is this kind of cool, once again, this kind of milky, translucent, throwback kind of Tokyo colorway-esque stuff with the yellows and the greens. But the Mechagodzilla looks really cool too. I mean, that's also, like the Hedorah, going to be $70-ish. And this one is glow in the dark. So really cool stuff. Go to the Hakuba site. Pick these up while you're pre-ordering that Godzilla 64 and buying those US Toys. Oh, and that's not all. The Bullmark minis are, I don't say they're back because they never went anywhere, but we love the Bullmark minis. They're about 4 inches, 3.5, 4 inches tall. And all of them love to do the touchdown pose. But I love these because they're doing the classic colorways, but in the Bullmark mini form. Really cool stuff. Once again, on the Hakuba site now. Bullmark, hey, they're probably like watching the Geoffreys and they're like, hey, we got to pick up our game here. So Bullmark just doing some really good stuff. So good job to those guys. So speaking of figure of the year potential and toy line of the year, I think Enka Vinyl and their very unique take on Godzilla. It's weird and crude and bootleggy and vintage and potchy, but also whimsical and fun. And I think that they're capturing a new style that we haven't quite seen. Kind of like Neo Player One did, kind of like, the US Toys has like in the past, and all these, when they can kind of capture that unique style and look and aesthetic and then apply it to different kaiju. We saw this with the Space Godzilla as well. And some of the stuff they're doing with Ultra Kaiju. Enka's doing that. It's not just a really good sculpt and a great paint job, and there's nothing wrong with that. But the Enka Vinyl, this Godzilla Parade or Godzilla Big Parade series, I'm having I think this thing's gonna be a player. This thing meaning Enka Vinyl. Really cool stuff. I really hope that they can continue to expand the line and do really, as many kaiju in the Toho world as we can see, and Subaraya and anything else. So this one is cool. I love the ad that's on their site. It's so fun. It's like the retro kind of catalog style, and it's really cool stuff. But this thing is only $125. You can pre-order it right now through March 24th. And it's sold in Japan only, but they do have an on-site proxy service there. So I think you can go full soup to nuts on Enka Vinyl. I might be wrong on that, but I think you can. It just kind of kicks you out to a proxy service to buy it. But this thing will be shipping in September. Figure of the year, Strange Gallery 64, Enka 62, Strange Gallery Pestar, Amakuma, we'll talk about some of that stuff in a bit. Like, it's just nuts. So much good stuff. But I'm really excited to see what these guys do. I think it's going to be one that we're going to talk about a lot. And I love the price points too for what you get. So moving on from those guys. Hey, guess what? Speaking of figure of the year from last year, a contender, the Shin Godzilla that made Decon explode, the second edition. Go right now to the Metacom website, register for that lottery because you have a chance to win it and get it for $185 instead of $400 or whatever it is. So this thing is coming out. It's going to be great. And I'm excited that more people get a shot. No need to talk about this one because it's amazing. And also, I don't think it's the best thing from Onraku this week. No, because while you're registering for that lottery, please register for this one. Onraku's doing a Busca. This thing is like $50 cheaper. This thing's also through March 10th. Look at this. Onraku, Busca, match made in heaven. I mean, you should just show people this. And this thing would like stop wars and end world hunger. I mean, this is everything that's great about humanity. Onraku Busca. I mean, it really is the greatest thing ever. So just go buy it. Whatever, it doesn't matter. Just go buy it. Just go buy it and send it to a friend. So amazing stuff. Okay, so we can't have a toy news section without talking about Marusan because, they have their pop-ups every month. And I thought there's some fun colorways here. I don't know if it's they're getting into the St. Patty's Day spirit or whatever, but the green and orange for the 75, 450 and the Shin 350 are something, man. They're something. I wouldn't say that they'd be at the top of my list, but they do have a cool kind of vintage Pachi kind of vibe to them. And I love the sculpts. I love the pieces themselves. The colorway might not be my favorite, but really cool stuff. And these are all the lucky bags, so you don't know what you're getting. For 185, all of these are home runs. There also is this kind of light blue, white, marbly with some purple, like almost like frozen to the point where you're actually getting hypothermia colorway. And they're doing the Shin Godzilla, and they're also doing a Goro, which he kind of fits there. I think that looks good. Goro and the orange and green would have been interesting. But great. I hope they're doing 89. I'll grab one for the 89.89s. But this was neat, cool, lucky bag pop up, and some big pieces there. I mean, the Shins are 350s, and they're basically the size of a 450. They're huge. So cool stuff from Marusan. Okay. For those that aren't part of our Monster Island Visitor Center Facebook group, go join because I posted this today. And a couple weeks back, I bought from the Toei, the P Productions Retro Series. I bought the Lion Maru from Metacom. I loved it. Came with a sword, a cape, but the hair was vinyl. And now they're doing a pre-order with the real hair transplant, the hair transplant version. Give it that, Masadai and Dr. Gory vibe. Hey, it's P Productions also. I pre-ordered this today. I have the other one. Don't care. I got to get this. This thing is creepy. This thing is amazing and awesome and creepy and weird and just like with the hair. I don't know. It's awesome. But you can go on Metacom's site, mct.tokyo. So not the blog like you do the lot where you put like the Onraku lotteries and stuff, but just the main site. You can go to this page. You can find the Lion Maru and you can order it and they'll ship. It was for me today. It costs $138. That's $103 for the item, $35 for shipping. But it's super seamless, super easy, and this thing is supposed to ship in the summer. That doesn't always happen. Just for those that might be ordering for the first time for Metacom, it's a couple months on either side. But yes, please, more Lion Maru. This is awesome. The first figure is exquisite, and I think this one is even better. So go out there, check that out. I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to go get this and sell these out. So then we'll get more P Production. I'm waiting. I mean, if they have this P Productions license, can we get some Spectre Man stuff? I don't know how the licenses work there with P Productions, but that would be amazing. The other thing, I do think this is really cool news on the X Plus front. And now, once again, I'm not actively pursuing a lot of the X Plus stuff anymore, but I love when they're fundamental changes to the business, right? And whether it's to more access, more licenses, more characters, more styles, etc. Get more artists involved. And so X Plus North America has launched, and I think it's been, personal opinion, as an outsider looking in, and I haven't done a deep dive because I haven't bought a lot of stuff from X Plus North America, but at times it's been a little bit clunky and like confusion over, hey, what's X Plus? When can I buy this? Is it just, are you just adding the shipping to yourself? What's going on here, right? But the fact that we're getting the first wave of a new line exclusive to XP&A, X Plus North America, is this Toho Kaiju War Series, I think is a really cool thing. Now, this seems to be very Toho Maniacs in that scale, 6.5 inches tall, 7 inches tall. And I hope that they expand this out. But what a great, smart start. Give us a 54 in that scale, and give us something that is us old X Plus fans or old X Plus fans. I don't want to put myself in that category by any means. We love the maquette holding the lady. That's a great piece. One of I think one of the signature early X Plus Godzilla's things. And, for $70, you can have these. And I think that's really cool. I think it's expanding the world of X Plus in a positive way, and really getting X Plus North America separated, because I think the early returns on like the 62 that was painted like the Imperial, or what was there? It was like the Megalon that was like the purple Megalon. I think they're like neat, nice to have, not need to have. And I think these types of toys could really fill kind of a little bit of a gap. So pretty cool stuff. So good job, X Plus. And then they also, I don't know. I think there's, I'm not a huge MonsterVerse fan. But I like some of the toys are crazy. And I think this Devo reel is, I just like the pose, man. I think it's a lot of action and a little bit more energy because he has evolved, by the way. In this Devo reel than the other ones that are just, kind of almost like sitting there squatty and like, oh, look, I got a giant head. This one's funny. It's the running Godzilla. I think we need the running Kong to pair with it. I think it would be wonderful. But this thing is actually up on the X Plus North America side now. And the Rick has light up fins and eyes. And, if you're collecting Devo reel, I do not. This is a fun piece. So, kudos to them. I think this is a really, once again, so many caveats to that, but in the context of, is that a cool looking toy? Yeah. And it's funny. And compared to other Devo reels, I'd say it adds a little bit of extra character to it just because of the pose and everything. So I want to throw that one out there for anybody that's still in the world of Devo reels, which you don't hear as much about anymore. I don't think. I don't know if they've lost a little luster, a little bit of buzz, but you just don't see as many people freaking out over them as you did maybe 3 years ago. The other thing, hey, did you guys see the new Ichiban Kuji in March from Bandai / Band Presto? This one is really cool. I love this grand prize. This hyper realistic, kind of angry, almost look like a zombie Gamora. Oh my gosh, this is Gomora. I love it. I love it. And that's the grand prize. But hey, the second tier prize is Metron at the table in that awesome iconic scene. And then which I just noticed when I transferred this over, there are 4 teacups there. Those aren't the prizes. Oh, Jay, you got to check your work here, man. There is a really cool Ultra Kaiju teacup, a coffee mug, teacup, whatever you want to call it. But these, I believe, are teacups. But then the next one, there are some acrylic stands. There are some the bust magnets, the different heads. There's a Pandan. I forgot who else was in there. And then the last one, I think there's mini posters. Yeah, some mini posters as well. So those are what those other 3 squares are supposed to be. Sorry about that, guys. But you can go check it on Kaiju Battle. They have all the details because I love Kaiju Battle. They do great stuff. So Ichiban Kuji, Ultraman. And then hot off the press today, I don't know how many people saw this. Probably by the time this airs, probably everybody. But Mondo teased their next Godzilla release, and it appears they're going 1971 on us and doing a new Hedorah, a new sculpt, and then a Godzilla 71. And you can tell by I think there's going to be a lot of personality in it. But by the look of these factories and smog towers and stuff, I'm hoping there's some accessories here. And I don't know. I'm kind of excited about this one. I don't have one of the few Mondo pieces I don't have. I think the only one in the Godzilla series, at least like the soft vinyl, not counting. I don't have like the Hanna-Barbera one anymore, but I think is the first wave Hedera. And the sculpt's great. I want to get that Tokyo colorway, and I haven't found it for the right price. But now we're getting, I think, probably a bigger one. Really cool stuff. Really, really cool stuff. I'm hoping it'll be like a set, or it maybe have the size of like the new Empire set. That'd be pretty cool. But I'm excited to hear more about this and all the colorways and stuff. So really cool stuff. I know Hector and Peter and whoever's doing the sculpting, whoever's doing the design work, whoever's doing the painting, they're going to treat these right. It's just right up their alley. So really cool stuff there. So yeah, awesome. And that is it from a news standpoint. Really cool stuff. Like I told you, doesn't matter. There was Wonderfest. We're getting more and more stuff every day. And speaking of that, I also got some stuff that I want to share with you because I think this stuff is really cool. So we'll do some pickups.
We got Kaiju pickups. Oh, what a glorious day. Oh, Kaiju pickups. With our hosts Jacob and Jay. Rock on! Yes!
Okay, so I got, like I said, this was a fun one because it's all over the place, but some pieces that I think are going to be signature pieces in my collection. First, I want to go back all the way to, was it January, December? When was the Landry Pop auction? I think January. Anyway, so I did get my pieces from there finally shipped in. I got 3 pieces. First one, and they're all vintage 70s, 80s stuff. So but look at this from Popey. I got this really cool translucent Popey Fireman. Look at this. And he has, you can see his innards, his robotic innards there. But look how cool this is. Absolutely dig this. So cool. I love Fireman. I love the vintage stuff. And it comes with this really cool, it comes in fact, it was unopened. It was dead stock, but like, look at this. It came with a little insert in case you want to learn about him. Oh man, like, could you imagine if there was an awesome Inframan of this? A Fireman and Inframan with like this. Oh, it'd be great. So yeah, I'm pumped about this. I love this. I love Fireman. So good. Fireman is so good. We need to get an official English sub of this stud. Come on, Super. Okay. Also, I think I might open these because one of them is already open just because age. I didn't open it. But not off the top 10. But I do have the Metacom versions on the top 10, and that is Space Iron Man Gyodon. And I was able to get these really cool Bandai, vintage Bandai Gyodon. And here's Skyzel. I mean, look at the packaging. He comes with a watch and a stand. I mean, look at this. Look at this amazing art. But anyway, I'm going to open him up because I didn't have to try very hard because he already came. This thing was already off. But let's open this up and check it out. Okay, so we have a little stand here. Little stand. Here he is. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Yep, you can look through his chest. Amazing. Okay, let's stand him up here. I want to see. There must be some gimmicks here. Hold on, let's check these gimmicks out. I'm going to stand here real quick for me, Skyzel. Don't go anywhere. Okay. Something like that. I might have to work on the stand here. Okay, then we got this awesome watch. I don't think this is going to fit, but oh yeah, look how cool this is. Look. Okay, so here's the watch, and it comes with these little inserts. So you can have the watch in here. He's battling out with one of the bots, and you can cut out. He has 4 other ones here that you can punch out. They're perforated, and you can put it in the watch like this little diagram shows. Look at that. That's amazing. Oh, and then they even show so if you look at this. So if you look through that the hole in the chest, it kind of distorts everything, and it's like there. It looks like the diagram. Look at that, guys. This is cool. Oh my gosh. And the fact I got this for literally a third of the cost that I bid on it in an auction that I did not win on these guys. Yay. Well, maybe probably ended up being more than that because shipping with Landry was ridiculous. But yeah, I think it was like $130 to send this thing literally from Boston. Anyway, yeah, look at this guy. And so to go with him in this amazing watch, I also got the Groundsel. So he's there as well. Look at that. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited to open these. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is great. I did not know that you could look through his chest. Not that it's actually that cool of a gimmick, but just the fact that, like, I just discovered it now. I look the same. Okay. So, love my stuff I got from Landry Pub. Little Fireman, little Kyodine. But we also had Wonderfest. And so I got a couple things from Wonderfest. Small things, actually. And I got some big things. But I got some small things, too. And here's some small things. So, first off, from One Up. Oh, shoot. And I just dropped one. One down, I guess. Okay, so I got the Invasion of Astro Monster, the little mini set, which has your little Godzilla. Look at that, yeah? It has the little Rodan. It has the Flying Saucer. And it wasn't sold with the set, but you could buy it from One Up there. Was the little, like, UFO beam, if you will. So it'll sit up here. I think this is the one with like the cow, right? Because it looks like the hamburger up there. But it looks great. Displays nicely with all these. You can kind of get the gist. I won't be able to do it here, but really cool stuff. Love that. But my favorite piece from Wonderfest might be my favorite overall piece. And I know people are like, "Whoa, Frog Tree!" or "Oh, are you kidding me? The Max Toy Japan." Yes, not for me, but yes, those things are awesome. And if you told me there's the greatest figure ever made, I'd be like, yeah, sure, probably. Why not? But like the damaged Max Toy Japan -1, like amazing. All the Frog Tree stuff, great. But I've been, hey, Frog Tree, and when they did some of the sculpting for the T-Base Japan stuff, like stuff's awesome. I'm a huge fan. So you don't have to convince me. But my favorite personal piece, more my aesthetic. Our boys over at Amakuma said that they're hitting 25 and like, hey, we're going to win this thing. We're going to win a freaking Geoffrey. This helps. Godzilla 66, eating his zebra claw. Look at that. Dude's great. This thing is just wonderful. Oh my gosh. Oh, we can't really see it there. There you go. Look at him. The face. Oh my gosh. Pairs so nicely with the 73. And, but different. You know, like just as the suits are, like, different vibe, different, he doesn't have a tree, he's eating Ebra's claw, but this is so cool. This is a great piece. Great piece. Looks great next to other Amakumas, next to Sun Guts, next to Max. So it doesn't matter. That great, like 4 to 6 inch size scale. Perfect. This, I know will get released in a few other colorways, but once again, could it be in figure of year category as of right now? Absolutely. But then again, we're like 7 weeks into the year. Pretty amazing stuff. But the last two things I got are big. First, from our good friend Nick Sides. Everybody in the community probably knows Nick Sides, Kaiju Obscura, just man about town, all over the place. You see him at every convention, whether it's G-Fest or Monster Palooza, you name it. Great dude, knowledgeable guy, really involved with stuff. But he was selling off some stuff, and he showed me something that he had that I've really been wanting, and I was really excited to add it to my collection. He sold it to me at a great price because Nick's a good dude. So from Marmot, I was able to get the large scale 68. I love the 68 sculpt. I love Destroy All Monsters sculpt. I love Marmot's rendition of this, and to get it in this size, which I've not seen in person. So this is a big ticket item for me. Like, this is an item that, like, I really wanted to get off the list. I love this colorway. I love the black. So cool. And I just love the sculpt. And it's huge. Look how big this is. Look how big this is. I mean, this is next to standard size action figure. Look at that. They just destroyed Skyzone like that. Look at that. Amazing. So cool. Thank you, Mr. Sides. And normally, not only would this be like, oh my gosh, this is like my favorite pickup of the month. Not only would be like, this is the biggest. I mean, I don't know where to put this thing. It's so big, which brings up another question. We'll talk about that in a second. But before we leave, I got something that we've been seeing. It was announced on a Godzilla Day stream in 23. Oh, the prototype was there. And then it finally got released. It's from the sculptor of Gojiban and to pair nicely with the Marusan 100th anniversary Godzilla that was done in that style. And I was like, okay, I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, it's going to be kind of that, but a little bit bigger. No, guys, my friends, no. It's like 7 of those, maybe not 7, but it's big. That maybe definitely the biggest soft vinyl or Sofubi thing. I mean, obviously, like some Gigantics or Spiral Studios are bigger, but I think this one might win in a fight. The Marusan Destroyer. Look at this thing, guys. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say. Look at this. This is like my buddy. Like, this thing is massive and has the Gojiban style. Still very much Destroyer. I love the colorway on this one. The red is kind of like there's a lot of like depth and texture to it with the some slight like black shading and stuff. It has that kind of not quite like a meat marble look, but it's just great. A lot of texture. This thing is wonderful. I mean, look at this guy. He's like a pet. This is bigger than my dog. Oh, love this guy. I mean, look, he can take up the whole screen. If you have a chance to get this for a reasonable price, I would say get it. It's different than the T-base Destroyer, which is probably even bigger than this. Maybe not as wide, but that one, it's like they're making Destroyer mean and nasty and gross. This one obviously has that Goji Band style to it, which I do like. I think that's really cool, especially for Destroyer. So I don't know. This is awesome. I don't know where to put it, but that brings me to the last thing, and then I'll go. Listen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing, all that good stuff. It means a lot to us. Jake and I really love doing this. We love chatting about kaiju. We love chatting about toys. We love chatting about films. And we enjoy that you guys want to listen to us. It really means a lot. But okay, I'm like in major space danger. And even though I might have a solution for that, it opens up a new can of worms. And so I'm like maxed out. And I literally have some of my favorite pieces that are just sitting here. You can kind of see some in the back. They don't even have a place. I mean, I know that's a kind of a bratty thing to say. It's like, oh, I don't even have a place for this amazing GMK M1 Godzilla. But like, I don't. Like, I need to rethink the collection setup. And so for those who watch like my collection video, you notice I had a big like arcade. It's an emulator type thing, but like a custom like cabinet, right? I think that might be going the way of the dodo. I might be like kicking that out, breaking it down, maybe put it in the garage or something, or just get rid of it, which gives me some space to do either some details or maybe a different display cabinet. But all my stuff I'm adding in, I don't have like, oh, I can do a display cabinet and it's this type of collection, or it's just my Tokusatsu toys or my indie Sofubi. I have nothing that kind of fits nice and neat into that. So I'm going to have like bleed, right? I'm going to have bleed over like, I'm going to have, okay, well, this cabinet over here, some designer toys, and over here, some Ultraman and some, there's no way to like do it. And that's kind of bugging me. And I haven't even got the cabinet yet. I don't have enough to fill a cabinet, overflow, but I have overflow. I might just need help. So I need to really think about where the collection is going in the next year plus. And it's coupled with the fact that I feel like actually in a good place as far as like what I'm going after. I'm really focusing on the top 10 list, and more news on that hopefully over the next couple of weeks, but I was able to land some big things for me. But, you know, as I hope and look and, you know, wake up in the middle of the night and search for Marmot Gaharahas, but they're not there, or bare model Cowras. I'll see, somebody has a great sale on the M1, the M1 Subaraya set. Oh, I've been wanting that. All I have is the Ski Boy. Okay, like bam, it's like, oh crud, like where does that go? I mean, there's new stuff from Mondo and Max Toy every 2 seconds, and Marusan. It's like, but I still feel pretty focused. I just don't know what the display is going to look like in 6 or 7 months. Maybe when I get this big arcade out and I can have a little bit more space to kind of look at it, I can kind of start going through it. But like the reason it got really stressful was when this thing arrived, because I love it. I don't know where to display this thing. Like it literally might just be sitting in my booth at work with me. Like it might just be sitting right here for like the foreseeable future or on the recliners. I don't know. I just look, first world problem, I know, but it's a collector's dilemma, collector's problem, something we have to sort through. And I love keeping my collection curated. But I also like don't want to sacrifice getting a toy that I love because I don't have the right place to display it. Because as you know, some of this stuff could be months, years, and hundreds and thousands of dollars more if we wait. So I don't know. I got to figure it out. I don't know. So I'm glad that you'll be here for me to gripe about this stuff and bitch about it and moan about it for forever. So thank you for that. Thank you for being unpaid therapist. I appreciate it. Sounding boards. But anyway, so that's it for me. I just want to make sure everybody was aware of some cool toys coming out so you guys can spend some of that money and you can show us all these cool toys because I love seeing everybody's toys. I mean, that's my favorite thing about the Facebook groups is not only like selfishly, like I see sometimes like, oh, I need that. That looks really cool. I didn't see that. So thank you. But even more importantly, I love to see people's collections. It's really cool. It's like going to see, go to an art gallery. It's like, I don't want to buy all that stuff, but I love seeing people's interpretations and what they're trying to say with their art. And then, also with like your collections, like, wow, that's awesome. You love blah, 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 blah. You like this style. You like this aesthetic. I think it's really cool. And it makes all of us better, more well-rounded collectors. And we can appreciate it all. So I don't know. I love it. So keep sharing those photos, keep sharing those pictures. Show me what you're going after, what you're getting, and how you're displaying it. Because like I said, I will steal all those ideas. But without that, thank you. Hopefully in 2 weeks, we'll have Mr. Jacob Walsh back and we can finish out the Rebirth of Mothra trilogy. It does get better than Rebirth 2. And I will say this. Adios. Catch you later.